in Lenox, Alabama. Is it okay to have thermal underwear under Hawaiian shirt? Is there some kind of law? We don't care. We're going to do what we want right here, okay? It's a little chilly out here, so I got thermal underwear on. Okay, anyway, comments tonight, and questions and answers. You can line up your questions. You can send them in. Take them on. All you atheists, here's your chance. Okay, show us how wonderful your religion of evolution is. Yeah, okay. We're on Rumble and Genesis Baptist Church on YouTube. Now, Joseph, we talked today with one of the board members, and we're going to not monetize the YouTube so that they don't have the advertising you got to put up with. So you can, if you can support us, please do that, okay, for income. And then we will put the advertising on which one? On Facebook. Okay, there you go. So if you want to help us out, please do that. So we're on comments tonight. We're on, let's see, Odyssey and a whole bunch of stuff listed on drdino.com. Call us, 855-BIG-DINO. I'm extension 3 if you want me to talk, any questions. Let's see, Genesis Baptist Church in Lenox, Alabama. The fool said in his heart, there's no God. And if you can't see God's design in nature, you are a fool. There's a design everywhere. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be on Donnie's show. Yes, sir. I'm all set to do a creature that you're not going to believe. And I want to ask you atheists how this one evolved to make babies. Might have to save it for next week. We could do a different animal every day. You guys can't explain them because your religion is stupid. Evolution is a religion and it's dumb. Okay, so let's see. November 30th, last day of the month. Here's the Siberian unicorn. Have you seen that thing? Yes, sir. Man, I don't know. Big horn anyway. How about this? Somebody sent me evolution's conflates, fortified with ambiguity, confusing the world about science since 1859. That's the truth. What a con job, okay? Okay, questions. The spirit of nature. Kent, I watched you for the years. Over here in Texas, I tell people all about your time, about you all the time. I think you're the king of common sense. I showed my family your seminars. They enjoyed them. You answered my question about uncontacted tribes. One of the coolest things ever. I will start asking more questions, okay? Well, I couldn't think of the book last night, but I thought of it afterwards. The book is called Eternity in Their Hearts. This is a great story, book you can get. Just Google it, Eternity in Their Hearts by Don Richardson. Deep in the Burma jungle in 1795, tribesmen rushed to greet a light-skinned stranger. This white man had felt called, though, to go to this jungle to try to witness to these people. As soon as they saw this guy with light skin, they rushed up to him and said, "Where's the book? Where's the book?" Of course, they were speaking in a language that he didn't know. He started speaking the only language he knew other than his language, and it was one of the tribal languages there he had learned, and happened to be somebody in that group spoke both languages, the one that he was speaking and the other one. So he said, "What are they asking?" "They're asking, where's the book?" He said, "What book?" He said, "You're a white man. You're supposed to bring us the book." He said, "What book?" He said, "Our fathers used to have a book to tell us how to find God, and they weren't faithful and they lost the book. You're supposed to bring us the book. Where's the book? Where's the book?" Great story. He said, "I'll go back to my tent and get it," the Bible, okay? So it's a good book. Each chapter is a different tribe and how they were waiting for somebody to come share the gospel with them. Brother, you're going to Peru to be a missionary?
We are missionaries in Peru.
Have you already been there?
Yes.
Awesome.
4 years.
4 years. You just showed up today with your 4 kids to see our dinosaur adventure land. We'll give you the tour tomorrow. Amen. Praise God for missionaries that go out. Okay. With this and other studies, Richardson shows how God has prepared the way for the gospel by setting eternity in the hearts of men. So to answer your question, I think most people are, God's responsible to make sure everybody gets some kind of light. And if they follow what light they've got, God will give them more, okay? Then there's another book by Don Richardson called Peace Child. This one have you read this one, Joe? Yes. Unbelievable story. Don and Carol Richardson risked their lives to go down to the Sawi people in New Guinea. True story. They were there for missionaries. As they were trying to witness to these tribes, their 2 enemy tribes came together to help them build their mission compound. And they'd argue once in a while, fight once in a while. And he was trying to understand their culture as well as their language. They were headhunters and cannibals. And one of the most, if you could betray somebody, you were the hero of the group. So he's telling them their Bible study, going through the Bible, teaching these folks the Bible, and they're sitting there, okay, we're not interested. What's going on? Who's this Jesus kid? We don't care. Until he got to the story of Judas. Judas betrayed Jesus. And in their culture, when you're really thinking deep on thought, something, it would rub the side of their nose. Oh, so they said, oh, Judas is the good guy. Wow. And the missionary thinks, I have wasted all this time learning their language, and they got it all wrong. See, in their culture, if you could pretend like you're somebody's friend for a long time, get them to trust you, come over to your house for dinner, and then you kill them and eat them. They loved the look of terror in their eyes when they realized they've been betrayed. And so the missionary, Don Richardson, said to these two tribes that came all together all the time, that hated each other, he said, that's it, I'm going somewhere else. I'm going to take my gospel, go somewhere. You're not interested. They said, oh, no, white man, we like you to come here. We like the tools and stuff you bring. It's a lot easier to chop down a tree with a steel axe than a stone axe. And they said, we'll make peace. He said, make peace? How are you going to make peace? They said, well, you wouldn't understand. You're just a white man, but we have to have a peace child. Each tribe would then take one of their children and they would swap it to the other tribe. So tribe A is raising one of the kids from tribe B, and tribe B is raising one of the kids from tribe A. And if they ever had an argument, wanted to get in a fight, they said, oh, no, we can't fight. We have a peace child. And Don said, the Holy Spirit's yelling at him, Don, pay attention. Here's the way to reach these people. Oh, so he told the next Bible study, God sent his son down to be a peace child, and Judas betrayed him. See, in their culture, it's okay to betray anybody else, but you never betray a peace child. And so that was the story of how he got the gospel to this tribe with their own culture, the peace child. So, and answer your question, there are ways to reach people, okay? Don and Carol gave the key. God gave Don and Carol the key to the Sawi hearts in a redemptive analogy from their own mythology, the peace child. It was the secret to unlocking a value system, a fabulous book, okay? He spent 15 years with the Sawi, a Stone Age tribe in Java. Don designed an alphabet suited to the language. Imagine starting from scratch, designing an alphabet. Then he authored 19 primers, books to teach them their own language, taught the tribesmen to read in their native tongue, and translated the whole New Testament. That's a missionary. That's awesome. Have you ever seen either one of those books, Brother Peace Child? Or?
Yes, that's definitely a lot of the books that we've been taught in our
Yeah. High on the priority list if you're going to try to win other people. Okay, let's see. Sandra and I drove 10 hours today. That would be a couple days ago, back from Georgia. We got in at 6:25. Brother Meister has been a friend of mine for 40 years. Somebody asked, why is Brother Meister preaching? I'm so thrilled he is here at DAL to share the wisdom he has accumulated for 62 years of serving the Lord. Thank you, Brother Meister. God bless Brother Meister. He's one of our teachers. God bless you and your family. Glad you and your family is back safely. Okay, let's see. Love you, Kent. From the age of 22 to 37, you have given me so much spiritual meat and milk for my soul. I love Melvin's preaching too. I can never thank you enough. Okay. Why would anyone keep Sunday holy if they know it's not the Sabbath day? Well, Samuel, there's no connection. Okay. I covered this in the Bible study. I don't ever say that Sunday's a holy day. All the days are holy. There's no one day is not above another. But Saturday was the day of rest for the Jews. God spelled it out clearly. Sunday was the day the church met together for teaching and paying their tithes and praising God. It's to commemorate the resurrection of Christ. Nothing to do with the Sabbath. They didn't replace one. Okay, let's see. Where were there Baptists in the first, second, and third centuries? Well, that's a good question, okay? Several questions came in like this. I answered not by that name. They weren't called Baptists, but the doctrine has remained the same. Let's see. Genesis Baptist Church. Can you explain some of the history of the Baptist and the Anabaptist? Okay, I'll cover that in a minute. Believers were called Christians first in Antioch. First, they were just disciples. Then they were called Christians right from the beginning of the resurrection of Christ. The Catholic scene about 318 AD, and the Bible believers, who were called Christians, they would lead some of the Catholics to the Lord and say, now you need to be baptized. They'd say, I already got baptized when I was a baby. Well, that's not baptism. That you just got wet. See, baptism's only for believers. And so when the Christians were baptizing these converted Catholics, the Catholics got mad and started calling them rebaptizers or Anabaptists, which means a rebaptizer. They said, oh, you're rebaptizing. And the Christians said, no, we're not rebaptizing. They never got baptized. Well, yeah, when they were a baby. No, that's just taking a bath, okay? That's not baptism. Probably take a lot of baths when you're a baby. So that's where the Anabaptist came from. It means the rebaptizer. And at first it was a negative term. The Catholics were using it on the Christians. Oh, you're an Anabaptist. And then they said, well, we'll just drop off the Anna. We'll call ourselves, we're the Baptists, okay? So my argument would be the Baptist are those who have the belief in the apostles' doctrine, the apostles' creed teaching. They were the original ones. Catholics came in 300 years later. Then Martin Luther said, I protest. He was a Catholic priest, and he said 95 theses, things the Catholics are doing wrong. And he started the Protestant movement about 1500s. And they have split into 40 different flavors, okay, the Lutherans, the Methodists, etc. So then the cults have all started really in the last couple hundred years. Jehovah's Witness, Mormons, Church of Christ, Foursquare Gospel, etc. Okay, so the Baptist, I would say, in theory, in doctrine, are the original Christian. The Catholics came after that. See, shortly after the time of Christ, the New Testament was finished. John, on the Isle of Patmos, the Lord said, John, you're done. Put the pen down. You're done. Book's finished. Then they started making copies and spreading them all over the world. Okay, copies and copies. They had to handwrite a whole copy. Okay, handwrite the copy. Copy the Bible. Spread it around. 5,000 copies, known as the Textus Receptus, were available, copies of the original. I think God made sure the originals didn't survive. Because if Moses' original writing, when he copied down the book of Exodus, if they had that piece of paper, they would worship the paper instead of read what it says. So God made sure it's just copies of the original, and 5,000 copies were there. And they translated it. Erasmus did it in 1516, and then Luther did it in 1520. And then King James said, look, I'm tired of all this arguing. He hired 70 of the top scholars. You guys take as long as you want. It took 7 years. A government job, you know. And they translated the King James Bible. And they built on the other ones. They used a lot of stuff they did, and because it was right, okay? Then that was in 1611. So Alexandria down in Egypt, the Alexandrian cult down there, about 240 AD, there were some people who claimed they were Christian, but they didn't believe some of the things the Christians believed. They believed in baptizing babies, for example, okay, which is not scriptural. So they made a bunch of changes and made their own Bible. A guy named Origen was the primary guy in charge of doing that Alexandrian Bible. So they started making copies and spreading them of their Bible. So now you got two books, both claiming to be the Word of God. And gradually, you use a book long enough, it wears out. Let's see, this one I've had for 54 years, and it's about done. Okay, so I don't use it much. I got a bunch more over there, a couple more worn out. So you can only use a book or a scroll so many times, and it wears out. So by then, they'd made many, many copies off of it. So then they would compare and verify and certify and all that stuff. Okay, this one is exactly the same. This other one can be put on a shelf or put in a vase someplace because you don't need it, or burned, or just let it fall apart. So there are 5,000 copies of the Textus Receptus, which means the received text from the original fathers, okay? Alexandria, they've always been arguing, Alexandrians are nothing good said about them in the Bible, disputing with Stephen. So this cult down in Alexandria started making their own Bible. It was translated to Latin in 350 and became known as the Latin Vulgate Bible, okay? 350 and 380 AD. The Catholics came along with the Douay Rheims and the Douay Confraternity version in 1582, and that's still the official Catholic Bible. It is a good translation of the wrong manuscript. They're translating the Alexandrian manuscript. So people say, well, those were smart men that did it. They might have been real smart. They might have known Latin and Greek and Hebrew and Swahili and everything else. But they're translating the wrong book. Duh. Westcott and Hort come along and took the Alexandrian manuscripts that were available, 3 of them, and they said, look, there's 3 of these, then they're older than the 5,000 manuscripts supporting the King James. So they said, let's take these because they're older. Well, older doesn't mean better. Older means older. That's all, okay? And the English translations of the Alexandrian manuscript include the Revised Version, the American Standard, the Revised Standard, the New World Jehovah's Witness Bible, New American Standard, Good News, Amplified, Living Bible, the NIV. Hundreds and hundreds of translations have been made of the wrong book. Get the book Westcott and Hort Controversy, Dr. Phil Stringer. Anthony Hort, co-worker with Professor Westcott, created the new Greek text of the NIV, the NASB, etc., Hort said in a letter, whatever people may say to the contrary, the American empire is a standing menace to the whole civilization of Europe. And sooner or later, one or the other must perish. Surely, if ever Babylon or Rome were rightly cursed, it cannot be wrong to desire and pray from the bottom of one's heart that the American Union be shivered to pieces. Ooh, guess he didn't like that. Here's the NIV, Acts chapter 8. As they traveled along the road, they came to some water, and the eunuch said, look, here is water. Why shouldn't I be baptized? And he gave orders to stop the chariot. Then both Philip and the eunuch went down into the water, and Philip baptized him. No, wait. Notice it went from verse 36 to 38. Where's verse 37? Here is an American Standard Bible. They left out verse 37, but at least they put a word, see footnote. And the footnote gives the verse and says, this really shouldn't be there. It said late manuscripts insert that. No. The Alexandrian took it out, and all the 5,000 copies of the manuscript, the right Bible, all have it in there. Late manuscripts insert. That's baloney. Jehovah's Witness Bible just left a line there for 36. Why don't they want verse 37? Well, because it says, if thou believest with all thine heart, thou mayest. In other words, you can't get baptized until you're a believer. Well, guess what? Babies aren't believers. Catholic Church baptizes babies because they're born with original sins. Catholic website. Oh, really? And they need to be cleansed to become adopted sons and daughters of God. Does baptism make you a son of God? Does baptism cleanse your sins? This is heresy. It's dumb. No, it doesn't. Said we pray. Here's what the priest says. We pray for this child, set him or her free from the original sin, and make him or her a temple of your glory, and send your Holy Spirit to dwell within him or her. That's baptizing a baby. No, they're not actually baptizing, they're getting them wet, okay? So this guy said, user, Ni3. Does that guy comment a lot? No, there's a bunch of different users. Yeah. Marijuana users, cocaine. Okay. Kent, are you scared to answer this? Why do you say one of the genealogies in Matthew and Luke say Joseph and the other says Mary? They both say give genealogies through Joseph. No mention of Mary. Admit the contradiction. You think there's a contradiction? Well, let's see. Question, user, if there's a contradiction, it's not. Does that mean all 31,101 verses in the Bible are wrong? Are you going to reject them all if you find one contradiction? Come on now. If you find one error in a science book, would you reject the whole science book? If you make one mistake in a mathematical test, algebra quiz, you got one mistake, therefore they're all wrong. Is that your logic? If you find a Bible contradiction, does that automatically mean evolution is true? See, the atheists are desperately looking for contradictions in the Bible because they think that somehow justifies their theory. God, it wouldn't matter. That's unrelated. If I can explain this apparent contradiction, and I can, will you then believe the Bible or just go look for another one? Basically, if you accept the Bible as God's perfect word, would that change your lifestyle? I suspect, user, you're running from God's authority over your life. Just my theory. So, does the genealogy of Matthew 1 contradict the genealogy of Luke chapter 3? Well, if you read it in Matthew, it's got the book of the generation of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Abraham begat Isaac, Isaac begat Jacob. It goes with father to son, to son, to grandson, to grandson. Okay, it keeps going. Solomon begat Rehoboam, and Rehoboam begat Abiah, and it gives, which is now, King David's son, Solomon. The last verse, Jesse begat David, David begat Solomon. Okay, then it traces it on down to verse 16. And Jacob begat Joseph, the husband of Mary, of whom was born Jesus, who's called Christ. Okay, so this is tracing the genealogy from Solomon, the king, down to Joseph, who was not Jesus' father. He was Mary's husband. Jesus was born of a virgin. When you read it in Luke, it's backwards, so somebody reversed it all. It's a good thing, because instead of saying begat, begat, it says was the son of, was the son of. But you can reverse it. Everybody agrees the Matthew and Luke genealogies are the same from Abraham up to King David. But then there's a change. Jesus began to be about 30 years of age, being as was supposed, the son of Joseph, the son of Heli, the son of Matthat, and it goes backwards genealogy. Okay. Well, you can reverse all the words, and you'll find out it's totally different. after King David. One is tracing Nathan's genealogy down to Jesus. The other one's tracing Solomon's genealogy. Well, now there's a good reason for that. Jesus' genealogy is given two places, Matthew 1 and Luke 3. Matthew traces the genealogy from Jesus to Abraham. Luke traces it from Jesus to Adam. There's good reason to believe Matthew and Luke are, in fact, tracing entirely different genealogies. Matthew traces through David's son Solomon, who was the king. That means Jesus has the right to be the king. But Nathan was the prophet. See, one goes to Mary, one goes to Joseph. But the women weren't important to get their name in the genealogy, so it was always the man, and Joseph, the husband of Mary, of whom was born. Matthew is following the line of Joseph, Jesus' legal father, through David, the son. Luke is following the line of Mary, Jesus' blood relative, through David's son Nathan. Let's see. Nathan was the prophet. Nathan the prophet. Nathan, the prophet. You can read all about it, okay? So hold it. Jesus was the first one to really have the right to be king and priest. Because Mary came through Nathan, Joseph came through Solomon. Yeah. So if you spend 1,000 hours solving all the contradictions, they don't want God's authority. They just go look for more. Let's see. American atheist, biblical contradictions. Really? You believe everything came from a dot? You believe matter moving faster than light after the Big Bang is not a contradiction of physics? You believe life came from non-living material? It's not a contradiction of all the laws of biology? You think amoeba gaining arms and legs is not a contradiction of what we've observed? You spent any time looking for contradictions in your dumb theory? Mm-hmm. You do not like to retain God in their knowledge. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Hovind, for all you've done. Lord, give this man strength and perseverance to keep going. Thank you, Jesus, for real men proclaiming the truth with boldness. Super cheese. Super cheese. What is that? Anyway, I wish there were thousands more doing what I'm doing. I probably only got 20 years left, guys. I'm going to wear out. So somebody get moving, okay? Greetings from the Netherlands. Well, hey, thank you, sir. Righteous are they that don't feel the need to hide when God reveals that what may be hidden in their hearts and minds. I don't understand Kent's obsession with Zelda. Rosina. I texted, no, I don't have an obsession. That's the only game I know the name of. It really is. Are there more? How many different video games are there?
There's a couple more than that.
There are? Like a whole bunch, right? Last one I remember is Pac-Man. Okay, that was, how long ago was that? Thousands of years ago. I never even played that one. Okay, so I'm sorry, Zelda's the only one I know that. Pick a new name, I'll use that one. Is that better? Okay. I wasn't sure if it was specific, as Zelda is a Christ-like figure, really. A God that became mortal and repeatedly sacrificed herself to save her people. I've never played Zelda. I've got no clue what it's about, okay? And I don't care, and I'm not going to learn, right? Let's see. I've never seen the Zelda game. Okay. If the commandments aren't grievous, why is the Sabbath in there? Well, the Sabbath was spelled out clearly. I covered that the other night. It's for the Jews. The commandments are not grievous, and if you want to take a day off and do nothing all day, join the pirates that do nothing. That's a hilarious song. I know some people like that. Let's see. Tonight's Bible study is on that one. The doc has the best shirts on YouTube. Except you got to have thermal underwear under this one today because it's chilly out there. Okay. He sure does. They really suit him. Dr. D is the best. Emma Thorne. Let's see, Emma. Emma Thorne has 12 videos about me. She's obsessed, brother. I can assure you I'm not your type, okay, for multiple reasons, right? I was raised Catholic and learned about evolution in school nearly 60 years ago. It wasn't the slightest bit controversial. It doesn't contradict with the Catholic teaching. You're right. Didn't conflict with my religious training at all. Well, I agree. Catholics believe and teach evolution. They're wrong, but that's what they believe. So you're right there. How fragile their faith must be if they can't reconcile their belief in an all-powerful deity with evolution. What kind of all-powerful deity would use a dumb theory like that, where an amoeba produces a cow and a whale? We don't see any of that. That's not science. Why would we blame God for something like that, to use a bunch of mutations, misfits, mistakes, to create something. My God made it right first time. It made it right first time. He spoke, and the animals were created. Now, Adam, he made himself. He made out of the dust. But the animals, he just spoke them into existence. Let's see. To its credit, Catholicism, let's see what this one. I'm so amused at how much you showed the first few minutes how Kent Hovind has no credentials at all to talk about evolution. Well, then, Hot Pocket Master, I should be an easy target. Call 855 Big Dino, extension 4. Joseph, that's you, right? Yes, schedule a debate, or call Donnie, standing for truth. Schedule a debate. Show the world how dumb I am, please. Please show them. Okay. I need more debates lined up. How many do I have, brother? Just a few. I want to get to 500 before I die. So come on, you coward. I mean, you atheist. Let's see. Call himself a doctor. Now, would you please explain hot mouth, or whatever it is, hot pocket, hot lips? Why can't I call myself a doctor? I seldom do, but I did earn 3 degrees and got an honorary degree. I mean, if I earned it from a non-accredited school, I'll tell you what, if somebody goes to a university and earns a doctor's degree and they come out believing they're related to a potato, do we still call them doctor? Okay, just making sure. If you still want to go to Dino Land out of pure love for dinos, that's dedication right there. Anybody can come to Dinosaur Adventureland. Come on down. Hot Pockets, you can come too, okay? The late, great Christopher Hitchens did a great job of tearing Kent a new one. I never debated Christopher Hitchens. What are you talking about? I would have. I'll debate anybody. Pick the top 5 atheists in the world. I'll take them all on at once. If I get half the time, one topic at a time, they go first. Give the evidence for evolution. Bring them on. Who's that? Brian? Okay. I have an undergrad degree in evolutionary biology, and The Origin of Species is pretty difficult to read even with that, mostly because it's written in the old Victorian English. Could you grab my book, Evolution, Darwin's book, Billy? It's right there. I got several copies of it. It doesn't matter. Are they up here?
Right there, the big fat one right there by scoffers.
Yeah, The Origin of Species. Well, I don't forget, it's up there. Okay. Darwin spends a lot of time explaining minutiae, which can make parts of it quite a slog to get through. It's a dumb book. He was a dumb man for believing he's related to a potato. Dumb. Kent, atheists think we came from a rock. Nope. Kent's Christian view, however, is literally that man came directly from dirt and woman from a rib bone. Well, Jesse, let me try to explain. I don't know if you're going to get it or not, but I'm going to use small words and talk slow. You guys believe the rock turned to a human with nobody guiding the process. We believe God took the dust and made a man. I think human beings took clay out of the ground and made this coffee cup. It's made of clay, pottery, but it was designed. That's the difference. You guys would say the coffee cup made itself. Nobody designed it. Nobody made it. We dug it out of the ground. Can't you see the difference? Let's see. Aaron Ra versus Kent Hovind. Oh, this is from some comments from his. He's got a lot of debates with comments about me up there on his channel. I'll debate him again. Why haven't you called, Mr. Nelson? Because you know the rule? You can't talk when it's my turn to talk. You can't do that, can you? I understand. Okay. Love how he starts off calling everyone who doesn't agree with him a moron. No, well, if you believe in evolution, you definitely are a moron, okay? Immediately says he's going to speak quite sweetly in Christian love. I think that is Christian love to tell somebody you're believing something dumb. If you were headed the wrong way and the bridge is out, you're going to get killed. Would I be, hey, stop going that way, turn around, stop. I'd be your friend. That would be Christian love. I'm trying to stop you guys from going to hell. Let's see. The whole name thing pisses me off so much. I'm trans. Is that transmission? You're bolted. Never mind. There are plenty of reasons why people would change their name. Okay. Regardless of that, it's none of Hovind's business that why Aaron changed his name. Not using his name is just disrespectful and rude and belittling. I'll tell you what, I'm going to change mine to Dr. Kent the Science Gent. If I'd spent the $35 and had my name officially changed, would you guys then call me that? Would you? How about if we changed it to Dr. Kent the Creation Genius? Would they call me that?
Doubtful.
Would you? Mr. Nelson changed his to R and Ra. Ra was the Egyptian sun god. Does he think he's a sun god? Mr. Nelson? Oh, standing for truth. Schedule a debate. Come on. Okay. Let's see. Dr. Kent, the science gent. There I am. Look at that. Dr. Kent, the science gent, YouTube. Wow. I guess I'm up there. He is literally the easiest creationist target. Well, Lone Star, schedule a debate. Please, please. I need more. Come on. Okay. This is like a debate on repeat with Hovind and Aaron. Give new info all the way through. Hate to say it, I'm starting to like this guy. Absolutely hilarious. Okay, that's all I've got for comments. What do you got there, Joseph? Doesn't the Bible teach we have to be humble before God, not man? To meek and humble the same? Correct. Be humble before God, but not before men. No need for that whatsoever. Let's see. Got it? Okay. No, I don't need to humble myself before other men. Are you kidding? Stay humble before God. All right. Let's see. The rich man and Lazarus is prophecy when the nations will be cut off from Jerusalem and be thirsty without a home. The law stands between Israel and the paradise. I don't understand if that's a question in there.
I think we're just trying to get your opinion on it.
Okay. I don't have a quick opinion on that. Think about it. Okay. Next one. Vinny, you make me wish that I live in Alabama, Brother Hovind. I'd love to come visit Dinosaur Adventureland sometime soon and pick your brain. Okay. Come on down. People that come here, stay. Brother, you've been here, Levi, for what, week and a half now? Huh? It's mostly work, right? But it's fun. Yeah, makes you tired. Yeah, thank you. Been a great blessing on all the projects being done like that. Let's see. Having trouble finding Damien's videos he made while at DAL. The Science Center, are they on there?
I don't know if we have them on mine, but I have them on my computer.
Well, when the YouTube took down our channel, we came back up on Genesis Baptist Church.
I'll see if they're on there.
So yeah, Damien, I got his phone number. I don't have my phone with me, but he's still doing great. Last I heard. Are you able to post them? Must have been removed on the channel. Okay, good point. That's Crybaby. Come on down.
Evolutionist crybaby, not creation.
Oh, evolutionist Crybaby. Okay. How many people were alive at the time of the flood? Before it started or after? After, there were 8. Okay. Before, no telling. Probably a lot. They were living to be over 900. How many kids could you have in 900 years? One every 9 months and 20 minutes. So they could have been billions in just a few generations. Let's just pick a wild number and say they had 100 kids. Now those 100 have 100 each. So wow, you got 10,000 in 2 generations, 10,000 grandkids. And then it keeps going for up to Noah. So I don't think there's any way to tell. But they probably were a lot. And they probably were much bigger than today and much smarter. High IQ, incredible IQ, genius people. They were made in the image of God. How much could you learn in 900 years? And you can go talk to your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandpa who's still alive to get advice. Yeah, let's see. Noah almost met Adam. Noah certainly could have known, let's see, I don't know if he met Seth or not. No, missed him by a couple of years. But Enos, Canaan, Mahalalel, you could learn a lot and go back and get advice from these other people who are 900. I think they knew things. They would come and look at our technology today and laugh at it. What do you got that giant machine to pick that big rock up for? Watch this. Who knows? Okay, let's see. Daniel, is Saturday the Sabbath? We don't know. I don't think anybody knows. Might be Monday. Our calendar's screwed up. Sabbath was a day of rest for the Jews. I've spelled it out many times on a seminar. It was a day of rest for the Jews. If you want to rest on Saturday, go for it. I've never met anybody who keeps all the laws regarding the Sabbath. Never met one. You can't go out of your house. You can't kindle a fire. You can't make anybody else work. No utilities. How do you have a Seventh-day Adventist church? You're going to start your car to get there? Aren't you kindling a fire in every cylinder? Better read the law. You really want that? Most of them I've encountered are Pharisees. They think they're spiritual, and they think you're not. Okay, believe what you want. What happens if you sin after being baptized? Or who doesn't? Baptism is like putting on a wedding ring. It's a public symbol to show people I've accepted Christ. I'm saved now. And you're going to sin. You don't have to, but you probably will. And then it's treated differently because now you're in the family. I've used the illustration. If my son and the neighbor kid are out playing in the backyard, playing baseball, and I say, boys, don't play out there. You're going to break the window. And they don't listen, and sure enough, they break the window. What happens next depends upon which kid broke it. If my kid broke it, it's a family matter. We're going to settle this in the family. Son, come in the house. I told you not to do that. Here's your punishment. But if the neighbor kid broke it, I can't punish him. It might become a legal matter. See, if one of God's kids sins, it's treated as a family matter. Your Heavenly Father may clobber you. Like my dad would say, boy, I'm going to clobber you if you do that again. So I think if when you sin, you simply confess and he cleanses you. 1 John is full of verses about that, the book of 1 John. You read all that. So count on it. You probably will sin. I want to keep a clean heart so I have fellowship with God. I'm not afraid of losing my salvation. I could lose my fellowship. I could lose my life. 1 John 5 and 1 Corinthians 5 talk about that. A Christian can sin to the point where God kills him and takes him home to heaven early. I don't want that. I want to live here as long as I can. Okay, let's see. Please podcast with Dan Esme. Have I done one? That name rings a bell. Tell him. I'll go on. I'd like all of you to find somebody that's your favorite podcaster. Have them call me. I'll join them on their podcast. Talk about creation. I like to do 2 or 3 every day. Why is October the 10th month and octo means 8? That's a good question. Okay? Sept is 7. Oct is 8. Nov is 9. And dec, like a decade, is 10. It used to be September was the 7th month, October was the 8th month, November was the 9th, and December was the 10th. Until Julius Caesar said, I'd like a month named after me. So they stuck July in there. And then Augustus Caesar says, well, I want one named after me too. So they stuck July and August in, shifted them all down 2, and screwed it all up. So September is now the 9th month, even though it means 7. Sorry about that. I didn't do it. Okay, I didn't do it. I asked my professor today what's the most accurate. He said the Latin Vulgate. Why do many go with that one instead of the one you just stated? Well, because that's what they've been taught. The Latin Vulgate is a good translation of the wrong manuscript. It's a very accurate translation of the wrong book. They don't get it. Okay. Amen. That's what we need. Pray for us and support our ministry and tell others about it. Make copies, spread them around. How to debunk the gap theory. I had a booklet on that I wrote, the gap theory. I covered that on the gap theory, for those that don't know, is the idea that there's a gap between Genesis 1:1 and Genesis 1:2, and Satan fell from heaven in there. Absolutely not true. That's heresy. I think I cover some of that on video number 2 of my series, The Garden of Eden. I'd have to go back and look if it's on 1 or 2, The Age of the Earth. Get the whole series for $50, 18 hours. But I do cover that some, and I had a whole booklet on that. I wish my wife was here. She's out with her daughter and granddaughter. If we have that, we don't have it in our bookstore, the gap theory.
I'm not sure about it. I have to ask my wife too.
If you have one of the books I wrote, the gap theory, and we can't find ours, we'll buy it back off of you so we can make copies. I don't want to rewrite the whole thing. Okay. Dr. Hovind, could you please help me explain Leviticus 19:27? Seems to me you're not allowed to shave your beard. Well, again, those rules are for Jews, okay? And that's why look at the Jews. Some of them have, I think they've taken it to extremes, the little curly things on the side. I don't think that's what the Bible teaches, but if you want to do it, fine. So no, that's off my radar. I don't worry about that kind of stuff. Crybaby, good to have you again, okay? Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Are you talking about you? I got a lot of gods before you, okay? Who are the other gods? Well, they were small g. Aaron Ra thinks he's a god, okay? They thought the Egyptians worshiped the frog god, the fly god. We covered that in the series on the book of Exodus. They had a whole bunch of what they thought were gods. And God's telling Moses now in the 10 Commandments, no other gods. I'm it. Oh, okay. Did Little Bit's name get changed to Princess? I just call it anything, and it comes. It knows my voice. I say, here, idiot. Oh, it comes over, wags its little tail. I caused this problem, brother. I rescued it out of the highway. I should have just let it sit there till you hear a truck run over it. Just a little yip, squish. But no, I rescued it. So my wife calls it Princess, yeah. Alex, in the original creation, where was there an ice canopy over the earth? Would the sun have a melting effect on the ice? I know the super cold ice is magnetic. Okay, well, if you had an earth with a canopy 10 miles up, right now you go up 6, 7 miles in an airplane and it's 50 below zero or 100 below zero. There's a heat sink up there, several of them. Just do the thermocline of the atmosphere. Google that. And as you go up, go to the top of Mount Everest. Let's see, Mount Everest is right here. How far above the equator is Mount Everest? Mount Everest is the same latitude as about the same as Lenox, Alabama, or Florida. And yet it's cold up there all the time because it's high altitude. So temperature changes with longitude and with altitude. No, I'm sorry, latitude, longitude. Temperature changes. So as you go up 10 miles. I think the canopy, there was 2 or 3 inches of ice 10 miles above the air with all the air squeezed down into 10 miles, which who would care? I mean, you can't reach up 10 miles. But that would increase air pressure, making breathing easier, things live longer, insects, everything grew huge under that. Watch my video 2 for more on that, okay? Okay, let's see. So the latitude lines, we're at 31 degrees north latitude, okay? God bless you, Brother Hovind. I've enjoyed your teaching many years. I might not agree with you on all your doctrine. Well, keep studying, Dave. You will, okay? We are close enough to be brothers in Christ. Good, thank you. Come on down. Visit Dinosaur Adventureland. There more still coming? I'm tired. Let's see. I put together never compiled quotes and the proof of Mary Schweitzer selling out her young earth creation position in order to get peer reviewed. I didn't know that she did. Have you heard that about that? Mary Schweitzer is one of the early ones to discover soft tissue in dinosaur bones. Now they found lots and lots of them. Well, that would make sense. The flood was 4,400 years ago. Finding dinosaur bones with soft tissue, they drowned in the flood. They're not millions of years old. But if she sold out her young earth position, okay, probably to keep her job. All right. So tomorrow night will be Standing for Truth channel and live broadcast on our same time. Simulcast, okay. Come down, visit Dinosaur Adventureland. After a day or two, we'll put you to work. See you tomorrow. Bye.